Today we'll be ranking the Islands of Adventure attractions over at Universal Orlando. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today is Tuesday, April 30th, and you're listening to episode 34, Ranking the Islands of Adventure Attractions. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you've probably noticed that we always record on Sundays and release on Tuesdays. But this week, we're having to make some slight adjustments because on Sunday, we'll be in Magic Kingdom. So we're recording much earlier in the week than we normally do. This will give us time to edit this episode, and by the time you're hearing this next Tuesday, we'll be in Epcot. We're so excited for this trip, and so are the kids. They literally can't wait. We have a countdown made of blocks with numbers on top of larger blocks that say Days Till Disney.
Yeah, it's such a fun countdown. The kids love seeing the new number every morning when they wake up.
Yeah, 100%. We make the switch before we go to bed at night, so they have that fresh in the morning. Their countdown started at Christmas, right? So Christmas morning, and they're vibrating, and so are we. Yes. We still get excited for these trips. We have a lot planned, hitting all the parks, of course, and going to Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot twice. We'll hit up all our favorites and then some. We have some great dining reservations to look forward to, like Cinderella's Royal Table, Storybook Dining at Artist Point, Topolino's Breakfast, Space 220, 1900 Park Fair, Via Napoli, Summer House on the Lake, Roundup Rodeo Barbecue. It's going to cost us an arm and a leg, yes. But we decided to enjoy these character meals while the kids are still young enough to enjoy them.
Absolutely.
We're planning to do as many booths as we can at the Flower and Garden Festival as well. That's over at Epcot, and to complete the Garden Graze. We're also staying at the Wilderness Lodge, which we're pumped about. We love that resort. The grounds are beautiful and they have good dining options. We're likely going to do Geyser Point when we arrive on Saturday. You don't need advanced dining reservations to eat there. And
they have a great menu and a kids menu too. So yeah, there'll be options for all of us.
Absolutely. We love the food there and the vibes as well. Mm-hmm. It's just a phenomenal resort altogether. So we're excited. If you want to follow along, I'll be sharing stories to our Instagram and Facebook accounts and sharing posts as well. With that said, before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on in the parks right now. Universal dropped some big news this week, just in time for this episode as well. Very topical since we're talking Universal today. DreamWorks Land will officially open on June 14th. In the newly refreshed land, you'll find the Trolls Troller Coaster, the Kung Fu Panda interactive experience with Po, and meet and greet with Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey at the cottage, as well as a new live show named DreamWorks Imagination Celebration. There will also be a new nighttime show named Hogwarts Always. It will also kick off on June 14th. It'll be a brand new projection show on the Hogwarts Castle and feature favorite moments from the franchise.
Love that.
Yeah, 100%. June 14th will also see the launch of a new show named Cinesational. This will be a cinematic experience featuring soundtracks from popular franchises such as Harry Potter, Jaws, and Jurassic World. And the Universal Mega Movie Parade will debut on July 3rd. It will feature favorite characters and music from Jurassic Park, Trolls, E.T., among other IP, on select days. All great things to look forward to this summer at Universal. Disney Parks blog launched their Mother's Day foodie guide today, April 30th. Several Disney resorts will have Mother's Day themed snacks at their quick service locations, as well as Amorette's Patisserie and the Ganachery over at Disney Springs. This is a new trend where Disney releases foodie guides for pretty much everything, right? All events and not just the festivals like they used to do, but hey, we're here for it. We love getting a sneak peek at the available snacks in the parks. It's fairly light on news today, but that's to be expected given how early it is in the week, much earlier than we normally record.
Yes, very true. So with that being said, in today's episode, we'll be switching gears and we're going to head over to Universal Orlando. So Universal Orlando is a phenomenal resort. It is definitely a different feel than the Disney parks, and not necessarily in a bad way, just very different.
Yep, agreed 100%.
Yeah, they have some great attractions, and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter was so well done, so well executed that it rivals the best lands at Disney parks like Galaxy's Edge at Hollywood Studios and Pandora World of Avatar at Animal Kingdom. Harry Potter, amazing.
Agreed 100%. Like, it gives me the same feels as those lands. You know, when you walk in and you're just fully, like, just mind blown by how great it is. Like, the same thing over at Harry Potter. It's just so well done.
You do not have to be a Harry Potter fan to appreciate the land.
100%. The level of detail is unreal.
And aside from Harry Potter, though, they really have some other well-themed lands and great attractions. Universal is definitely a little bit more grown up in the sense that there's less IP that is geared towards younger kids. The attractions reflect this as well because a lot of the most popular attractions have high height requirements that just aren't suitable for young kids. Our kids are getting a little older now and they've never been to Universal, but we're thinking of taking them in 2025 when Epic Universe opens. Not we're thinking, we're doing
Yeah,
it.
100%. We are going. Yeah.
Our son Caleb will definitely be tall enough to ride most of the rides then. And our daughter Sophia will still be a bit small for some, but she's going to be able to enjoy a lot of the old and newer attractions by then as well.
Yeah, 100%.
She'll be good to go.
Yep.
So it's not to say that you can't take your younger kids there. There's just more that they won't be able to experience. And if you have older kids or you're doing an adults only trip, Universal is definitely a departure from Disney parks. And like we said, they have some phenomenal offerings that will likely appeal to the older demographic.
Yep, agreed 100%. We don't talk about Universal nearly as often as we talk about Disney, but a reminder that currently, as of this recording, there are 3 gates at Universal Orlando, right? So Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios Florida, and Volcano Bay, which is their water park. They also have City Walk, which is Universal's dining and shopping district that is just outside the doors of Islands of Adventure and Universal Florida. They are also currently constructing and will be opening a 4th gate in 2025, okay, and that's Epic Universe. It's coming with 5 new lands, including the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, Super Nintendo World, Dark Universe, Celestial Park, and How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. They'll also be opening 3 brand new hotels, the Terra Luna, the Stella Nova, and the Helios Grand, which will have a dedicated entrance into Epic Universe that we can only assume is going to be super expensive. And much sooner, like we mentioned in our news, on June 14th, DreamWorks Land is opening at Universal Florida with attractions themed around Trolls, Kung Fu Panda, and Shrek. Lots is happening over at Universal this year and next, and we're very excited to see and experience all of it.
Absolutely. Like, especially because our kids haven't been there before. So it's almost like a whole new world for us to discover and spend a lot of time at.
Yeah, 100%. I can't wait for them to experience all that first.
Same.
Yeah. Having said that, in today's episode, we'll be ranking the rides and attractions at Universal Orlando. Like we did with our Disney Parks episodes, we'll start with our least favorite and work our way to the best of the best. So we count 18 rides and attractions here, so let's dive right in.
At number 18, we've got Popeye and Bluto's Bilge Rat Barges. That's a mouthful.
It's hard to say, yeah.
This attraction is in Toon Lagoon, and it's between Marvel Superhero Island and Skull Island, Reign of Kong. This is a water ride with large rafts that seat 12 riders at a time, very similar to what you're going to find at Kali River Rapids over at Animal Kingdom. This ride takes you through rapids as the raft goes around and around. There's no big drops like Kali River Rapids on this one, but you're going to get wet on this one, plain and simple. Yep. You're going to get wet. Oliver is not a huge fan of this one for that specific reason. He hates getting wet. There are water cannons mounted overlooking certain parts of the ride as well that other guests in the park can spray in your direction, and you get even more soaked if you're not already. I have seen this.
Yeah.
People are savage.
Yeah, 100%. And like, you know, we know it's all part of the fun, and like it's
But after a while, it's like, okay, that's enough.
It's like, yeah, 100%. Stop spraying me.
So this ride does have a 42-inch height requirement, so it's definitely not suitable for your younger littles. There is a covered section in the middle of the raft where you can actually store your belongings so they don't get soaked, but you're probably better off using a locker for things you definitely don't want to get wet. You will get wet on this ride. That's a guarantee. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, agreed 100%. At number 17, we've got Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls. This is also located in Toon Lagoon, basically right across from Popeyes. This is also a water ride that is kind of a mix between a roller coaster and a flume attraction.
Yeah.
There's plenty of twists and turns, and it all culminates in a 75-foot drop where you will definitely get soaked, okay?
Like drenched.
Like drenched. There's just no question about it. If you were getting soaked on Kali River Rapids or at Popeyes, like this one, you're, 100%. So the ride vehicle is a single file log, and there's a mix of figures with indoor and outdoor scenes as you climb higher and higher to the final drop. You'll get completely drenched on this ride. There's no doubt about that. So either bring a change of clothes, right? Or accept that you'll be wet and it's going to take time to dry.
Yeah.
If you don't want to ride this one, there's a bridge where you can watch your party drop. Okay. There's also water cannons mounted there as well. So you can spray the guests riding the attraction.
That literally won't make any difference because they're already so wet.
Exactly.
They won't even know.
Yeah, exactly. This ride does have a 44-inch height requirement, so a little bit more even than Popeye. So again, your smaller littles won't be able to ride this one either. Definitely put anything you don't want wet into a locker. And if you're like me and you don't like getting completely drenched, then we'd skip this one. We put it at 17 instead of 18 because while it still gets you soaked, it is more thrilling than Popeye.
Yeah, that drop is pretty epic.
So if you do enjoy water rides, you don't mind getting wet, it actually is a pretty good ride.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Coming in at number 16 is Storm Force Acceleratron. This attraction is located at Marvel Superhero Island. This is a spinning attraction very similar to the teacups at Magic Kingdom. It's themed to X-Men, and you can control how much your ride vehicle spins with the wheels in the center of the vehicle, exactly like the teacups. Yep. This attraction is nothing special in our opinion. It doesn't have a height requirement, so again, something for your littles in the party. Aside from that, we really wouldn't prioritize this one at all.
Yeah, 100%. It's nothing special, and it's like The teacups at Magic Kingdom are a little bit more nostalgic. So
They have a cute little theme.
yeah, 100%. We do enjoy that a little bit more.
But if you like X-Men, this is a good one.
Yeah, 100%. If you're an X-Men fan, you might like this. Yeah. At number 15, we've got the Carousel. This is located in Seuss Landing, as you might have guessed, across the water from Toon Lagoon. This is a classic carousel ride with a twist where the horses are replaced with Seuss characters from the Dr. Seuss books. You can also make the characters blink, wiggle their ears, and make their heads turn as well. So it's a little bit more of a...
interactive.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
than your standard carousel. Not like anything crazy, but
No.
yeah. This has no height requirement, so even your very littles will be able to ride this one. It's a fun spin on a classical attraction, but at the end of the day, it is a carousel, and it's certainly not a must-do in the park. Having said that, if you do have littles and you're basically limited in what you can ride, this is one of the attractions they're going to be able to ride regardless of their age, so there's that. Firmly in at 15.
Yeah, Zeus Land is pretty much where you're going to spend a lot of time with your littles.
Yep.
Because they can ride everything there.
Agreed. Yep.
Or almost everything, I should
Yep.
say. Coming in at number 14 is One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. This attraction, as you may have guessed, is also in Zeus Landing. This is a spinning arm attraction themed to Dr. Seuss's Flying Fish. You'll board the fish, go around and around, and be able to control the up and down motion of this ride vehicle. There is a water element to this one as well, so little fountains shoot water upwards towards the fish, and you may get a little wet here. This also has no height requirement, so it's really good for the little guests of all ages. There's nothing overly special about this attraction. No reason to prioritize this unless you have the littles in your party. And if your kids like the spinning arm attractions, there's no reason that they wouldn't like this one as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Like Dumbo and
yeah, exactly.
Flying
Dumbo,
Carpets.
Flying Carpets, exactly. Triceratops spin at
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom. It's
Yeah.
all the same, right? It's just very similar, except there's a little bit of water.
Our daughter likes those.
Yep,
so.
100%. Coming in at number 13, we've got the High in the Sky Seuss Trolley Train. So this attraction is a trolley train ride that takes you high above Seuss Landing in a leisurely ride with great views.
I actually really like this one.
Yeah, it's like, so there's two different tracks on this that offer a different experience. So it does give you an excuse to ride it again. It does have a 36-inch height requirement. So 3 feet, right? That's the minimum. It's a good way to spend a few minutes in Seuss Landing, and it'll appeal to a wider audience other than just those with smaller children, right? It has like vibes, like People Mover vibes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not as long as the People Mover, but it's kind of fun. It actually goes into the restaurant and stuff. It's just, I actually really like that one. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, agreed.
Coming in at number 12, still in Zeus Landing, we've got the Cat in the Hat. This attraction has you board a moving couch that sits up to 6 guests and will take you through scenes from the Dr. Seuss books. It's very well themed, and it's actually quite entertaining for the littles. It's essentially a slow moving ride with different scene elements, not unlike the kind of slow, dark rides you're going to find at Magic Kingdom, like The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. It has a 36-inch height requirement, so most guests should be able to ride that one.
Yeah, agreed 100%. So between this attraction and the High in the Sky Seuss Trolley, we'd say that these are the best two attractions in this land, and we'd prioritize these ones over the others.
I agree. Actually, I like the trolley one a lot.
Yeah, 100%. All right, moving away from Seuss Landing and now heading into the Jurassic Park area of the park. And at number 11 is Pteranodon. I think I'm pronouncing that right. There's a silent P here. Okay, so Pteranodon Flyers. This attraction has you seated in a seat that's suspended by a track above and takes you through a thrilling elevated ride around the land. It sways a little bit, but nothing scary. It's made for younger riders. Okay, so little caveat here. We've actually never done this one. And here's why. It has a minimum height requirement of 36 inches and a max height of 56 inches, unless you're accompanying a guest that's under 48 inches tall. So basically, adult riders can't ride this one unless they're accompanying a rider that's between 36 and 48 inches tall. Kids who are between 48 and 56 inches can ride by themselves. It looks like a blast, and while Caleb may be already too tall for it when we go next year, Sophia will for sure not be too tall for it. And we will 100% ride it with her because it looks like fun. Actually, we'll have to do it 3 times because Kayla will probably want to do it too. So maybe you can accompany her.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Honestly, we've walked by this one many times before, but we haven't had our kids with us, and I've longed to ride it.
100%. You see people, you see people suspended going around on those little glider
big
things.
Smiles on their
Yeah,
faces.
looks like fun.
It just looks like fun. So we'll
agreed.
definitely take advantage next year.
Agreed, 100%.
Coming in at number 10 and back into Marvel Superhero Island, we have Dr. Doom's Fearfall. This attraction is a drop or fall ride. There are 2 towers, and you are strapped into your seat in rows of 4 around the tower. There are 2 towers for quicker load and unload. And then guess what? It shoots you up at 40 miles per hour. And what goes up must come down, and you are dropped even faster. It's a similar type of ride as Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios, but nowhere near as well themed.
Yeah, 100%.
I vouch
Tower
for
of
that
Terror
completely.
has our heart. So like
It doesn't compare,
anyways.
but similar. This has a 52-inch height requirement, so only the older kids or teens will be able to ride this one. We like drop rides, so we actually like this one as well. And although the theming is nothing really to write home about, it's still thrilling and worth doing.
Yep, 100%. At number 9, we're heading into the Hogsmeade side of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter for Flight of the Hippogriff. It's right across from the castle on your left when you're entering from the Jurassic Park area. This is a fun family coaster that has you board a wicker basket in rows of 2 and takes you for a spin around Hagrid's hut and Pumpkin Patch. It gives you a great view of the castle. In terms of thrills, it's pretty tame and fairly short. With a height requirement of 36 inches, though, it's good for almost all guests, and little ones are sure to enjoy this one. I'd compare it to the Barnstormer over in Storybook Circus at Magic Kingdom.
Yes, that's pretty much exactly what it is.
Yeah, so basically, it's a must-do if you have younger kids at Universal.
It's a good starter coaster for
exactly,
your kids.
An introductory coaster for sure. Yeah.
For number 8, we're back down towards the entrance of Skull Island, Reign of Kong. This queue and attraction is very well themed. The ride has you board a large expedition vehicle and will jostle you around while you're navigating through ruins in the jungle. You'll see a mix of props and scenes, as well as screen elements for a 4D experience, as Universal refers to it. This ride culminates in a fight between a large dinosaur and King Kong himself. This ride has a 36-inch height requirement, so your smaller littles will be able to ride this one with you. Fair warning, though, it can be pretty scary for your younger ones, so keep that in mind. If they didn't really like Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom, it's almost certain that they probably won't be a fan of this one as well. But having said that, we like it. It's well-themed, and it's worth stopping in during your trip.
Yeah, 100%. Like anything else, right? You know your kids, and if you don't have your kids with you, then don't worry about it. Just go ride it. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
At number 7, we're back at Marvel Superhero Island for one of the most thrilling rides in this park, and that's the Incredible Hulk Coaster. This is a thrilling roller coaster and will please those who like thrill rides. This ride has an awesome launch at the start that takes you to 40 miles per hour in 2 seconds. The track is fast, has twists, turns, and inversions. You're seated in rows of 4 with a harness that comes down and secures you in place. You do have to secure all loose items for this one. There are lockers near the entrance to the attraction. It has a 54-inch height requirement, so again, not suitable for your younger littles. Only like older kids and teens will be able to ride this one. We really like it, Kay. It's fun, it's fast, it's thrilling, but it's kind of like rock and roller coaster. We must be getting a little older because it jostles you around quite a bit. Yeah. It's not as smooth as some of the newer coasters with newer technology and smoother tracks, essentially. So, and we'll get to those in a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. At number 6, still in Marvel Superhero Island, is The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. This was a pretty close between number 6 and 7 here, but the edge definitely goes to Spider-Man for us personally.
Yep, agreed.
This is a simulator 3D and 4D experience that features actual sets and scenes as well as screen elements. The simulator is so well done, and it does feel like you're moving and dropping more than you actually are. It's one of our favorite rides in all of Universal Orlando Resort. It combines a moving vehicle with 3D elements and live action scenes. It's low-key, very impressive, and actually really underrated in our opinion.
Yeah, I agreed. I don't think it gets the love it deserves.
It doesn't, and it's very well done. It does have a 40-inch height requirement, and so if your kids are tall enough, they're probably going to appreciate this one. It just gives the right amount of thrill and adventure without being too scary. Again, one of our favorites, must do every time.
Yep, agreed. 100%.
Multiple times if we can.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we're into the top 5 here, and all of these attractions are stellar and are in the top 5 for good reason. So at number 5, we've got Jurassic Park River Adventure. This is a water ride in the sense that you board a raft, and it's a slow-moving water ride for the most part. The first bit of the attraction takes you through scenes with friendly dinos, and much like the movies, and to quote Ian Malcolm, which is Jeff Goldblum's character in Jurassic Park, oh yeah, ooh, ah, that's how it always starts. Then later there's the running and the screaming. Anyways.
We're fans of Jeff Goldblum.
I love Jeff Goldblum and the original movies, like
the best.
We grew up on them. So the ride then culminates in a face-to-face with a T-Rex, followed by an 85-foot drop that can get you a little wet to a lot wet. So not unlike Splash Mountain.
Yeah, actually very similar. Yeah.
We love Jurassic Park. We loved it as a kid, and the originals came out when we were younger, right? So we love the IP, and this ride mixes live scenes as well as the thrill of the drop. Yeah, like it's right up our alley, and we love it. It's got a 42-inch height requirement, and it's good for the whole family. Definitely a must-do during your park day.
Oh, a must-do. It's one of my favorites for sure. Coming in at number 4, we're back into Hogsmeade to catch the Hogwarts Express. Now, you may not consider this a ride, but it's heavily themed, so we definitely think it counts as an attraction, so we're counting it here. For Harry Potter fans, which we are actually major Harry Potter fans, both of us, this is a dream come true. So when we first visited the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, that was back in 2014. Hogsmeade was open, but Diagon Alley over in Universal Florida wasn't open yet, and neither was the train. They opened, I think, just a few months after we were there.
Yep.
So when Dragon Challenge was still open, you could actually see construction of the train and Diagon Alley from the ride. But long story short, walking into the land for the first time, we were absolutely floored. It's so well done. And because we love the IP so much, we couldn't get enough of it. It just enthralled us.
Yeah, agreed.
When Diagon Alley opened, along with the train, we were so impressed with the level of detail that went into developing these lands and linking the two parks together. It's so well done, and like we said, it rivals the best lands over in Disney parks. The Hogwarts Express takes you into one of the train cars, and the window is actually a screen and looks as though you're traveling from Hogsmeade to Diagon Alley in London, and then vice versa if you're coming from Universal Florida. The big caveat for this attraction is that you actually need park-to-park tickets to ride the train. Park-to-park tickets is the equivalent of park hopper tickets at Disney, and this allows you to hop from Islands of Adventure to Universal Florida. Very clever on Universal's part.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. Yeah.
Because you cannot ride this ride with single park tickets. Now, having said that, it does make sense to actually get the park-to-park tickets when you're visiting Universal Orlando, because much like Disneyland, the parks are literally right next to each other. So it's very easy to go from one to the other, and it's kind of fun to stay on both sides, I find, when you're in the Harry Potter world. It's really exciting to do both worlds in one day.
100% to visit the whole world in one day. Absolutely. Yep.
This train, in our opinion, is a great experience and a must-do for every Harry Potter and non-Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you're, like Lucy said earlier, if you're not a Harry Potter fan, you can still appreciate the level of detail that went into it. And if you are a Harry Potter fan,
you'll cry.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a lot.
It's real good. So at number 3, honestly, this was a toss-up between the top 3. Okay, so these really could be interchanged because all 3 of these attractions are amazing in different ways. But we have to make a decision, so here goes. At number 3 is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. So this attraction is located inside of the castle, which in and of itself is amazing. Mm-hmm. The level of detail that is in the queue alone is unreal. I recommend waiting in the standby queue at least once because you do miss some of the queue elements going through the express lane here. You'll see all kinds of phenomenal details in the castle, including portraits, classrooms, offices, and many others.
I remember the first time we went in that line. Oh, I can't even remember the wait time. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was. And they didn't have express lane back then because it was brand new. Yeah.
So I remember we were with my parents and we weren't even bored.
Yeah.
Like it was so enthralling to be in there. I was like, oh, we're already at the ride.
Yeah, 100%. Like there's the fat lady, there's the hat, like there's
screens where the actors, Harry, Hermione, Ron are talking
like Daniel
to you.
Radcliffe and all them. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely phenomenal.
So good. Yeah, absolutely. The ride itself also is really well done and thrilling to do. So for the ride, you'll be seated with a harness that drops down and secures you in place in rows of 4. The ride vehicle is attached to a kind of arm that guides you through the attraction through live elements as well as screen elements. It's really well executed and so fun. This is an absolute must do. When we first visited in 2014, like Lucy said, we were absolutely floored. And 10 years later, it still holds up. It's one of our favorites. Like attractions across all of Orlando, not just Universal.
Disney too, yeah.
Like all of it. It's a must-do every trip. And again, for Harry Potter fans, it's a dream come true to walk through the castle and see some of these elements live size and in person. Quick note, this does have a 48-inch height requirement, so your smaller kids won't be tall enough to ride this one, which is really unfortunate because it's a phenomenal attraction. And realistically, this is a big reason why we haven't been to the Universal with the kids yet and have stuck to Disney. The best rides in these parks, in our opinion, all have higher height requirements. Sophia wouldn't be able to ride most of them. Even our son Caleb wouldn't be tall enough to ride some of them, like as of current day. So we're sticking to Disney for one more year.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. We want Sophia, especially because Caleb is pretty much tall enough for all of them, to be able to experience every single ride with her brother for the first time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But even some of those like 51, 54 inches, 51, he'd be like right on the cusp. 54, like even Caleb's not tall enough for it yet.
No, you're right. Yeah. But still, we'll definitely go next year.
Yeah, 100%. 2025 is a go. Yep.
It's our year. At number 2, we're heading back to Jurassic Park for the Velocicoaster. You surely saw this coming. It's one of the headliners in this park, and it has not been mentioned yet. So this is the newest attraction in this part of the park. It opened in June of 2021. This is themed to the newer movie, so Jurassic World. The pre-show has Owen Grady, which is Chris Pratt's character in the franchise. Your older kids are going to recognize this IP, probably more so than the older movies.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. The queue also has Raptor animatronics that are absolutely unreal.
They're
super realistic.
Really well done. Yeah.
Super impressive. They are so well done, and it's definitely a fun queue element for sure. This ride gets very busy and has long waits, but man, oh man, it is worth it. We promise.
Yep.
This is a thrill coaster worthy of the name. It accelerates to 70 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds and has twists, turns, inversions, and corkscrews. One of the corkscrews actually has you upside down and over water for a full 2 seconds, which doesn't actually seem like much, but when you're up there, wow, it feels like a long time. I love it.
Agreed 100%. And like just to not to compare, but to compare.
Yeah,
like Tron at Magic Kingdom, Guardians of the Galaxy, even Test Track, like none of those touch Velocicoaster in terms of speed, like 70 miles per hour and 2.4. Like
your launch is insane on that
100%.
one.
It's so fast. Like it's so fast.
Absolutely. This ride obviously has a 51-inch height requirement, and you do have to secure your effects in the locker. This locker system, though, is super sleek. It works just like the system at Tron over in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, 100%. It's well done. Essentially,
it's smooth.
You slide your ticket or your pass, it opens the locker, and then you pick it up on the other side on your way out.
Exactly like Tron. The best things about this ride, though, are that it's blazing fast, super thrilling, and it is smooth as silk.
Like super smooth.
Like butter.
Like there's no side-to-side movement at all. You're like completely sucked back
My
from the
neck
G-forces.
never hurts. Yeah, not once.
Yeah.
Some of the older coasters with inversions kind of jostle you around too much and can actually really cause neck pain and headaches.
Agreed, yeah.
But these newer coasters are so smooth, and while you're going fast and getting twirled around, it actually feels more like a pleasant experience overall.
Yeah, agreed.
So if you like the thrill coasters and your kids are tall enough to ride this one, all systems go. Don't miss this one. It's unreal.
Agreed 100%. And coming in at number 1, and a surprise to no one because it's the only one that has been mentioned so far, and that's Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure.
This is probably... I can't even describe this.
So good.
So good.
Okay. So this is the newest ride in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and Universal. So it opened in June of 2019. This ride takes you on Hagrid's motorbike and sidecar or sidecar. You're either on the bike or the sidecar in rows of 2, essentially 2 per ride vehicle. This coaster has great theming, a huge Hagrid animatronic, many creatures like the 3-headed dog, right? Fluffy, a centaur, blast-ended Scroots, Devil's Snare, Cornish pixies, among many others. The ride takes you through the castle grounds and the Forbidden Forest. A few facts about the coaster: it's long at 5,053 feet, and it has a total of 7 launches, which makes it super thrilling. Again, it's a newer coaster, so it's super smooth, silky smooth. It has a vertical drop of 17 feet, which is hard to explain how they pulled it off. The first time we had no idea it was coming.
We had no idea. We stopped and we're like, okay. And then,
yep. And it also takes you backwards, right? So drops forward,
thrilling.
backward. The whole thing is it's all amazing. It combines thrill with the IP that we love and a lot of other people love, right? Harry Potter is beloved, like huge, right? It's huge.
By so many people.
It hits all the right notes, and it's truly a phenomenal attraction. We couldn't wipe the smile off our faces after we rode it, and it holds up every time. An absolutely must do in this park. If you're a Harry Potter fan, right, you'll definitely appreciate it. And even if you're not, it'll keep the thrill seekers satisfied. It's quite simply a stellar attraction.
Stellar, yeah.
This does have a 48-inch height requirement. So again, your smaller littles won't be quite tall enough to ride this one. So something to keep in mind.
Absolutely. There's something about, because this attraction, you're either seated in the cart, like we said, or on the motorbike. Obviously, the motorbike is the place to be, but if you're sitting in the side cart as well, it's just as fun. It's just as thrilling.
Yeah, agreed. We swapped on our last trip.
Every
100%.
time.
And it's both
That's
good.
the way to do it.
Yeah.
So just like we covered in our other ranking episodes for the Disney parks in Orlando, this is obviously a very subjective topic. You may completely disagree with us, or your ranking may look a little different. Almost certainly, though, the top attractions land near the top in most people's list, and that's just because they're popular for a reason. They're the best themed and the most thrilling.
Hopefully this gave you a good idea of what the rides at Islands of Adventure have to offer, and it will help you decide which rides you'd like to prioritize during your trip. We like to give you guys some information with each ranking so that you'll have a good idea of what to expect when you're experiencing it on your trip, and it should give you a pretty good idea of what you'd enjoy, right? If it's something you and your party would want to do when you visit.
Absolutely. So like we said earlier, by the time this episode airs, we'll be in Disney.
100% can't wait.
We're so excited. So again, follow along on our socials if you'd like to see what we're up to on this trip. And when we come back, we'll do a recap episode and tell you all about the good, the bad, and the ugly from our trip.
Yeah, and really that's just a figure of speech, right? Because it's always a great trip, even when things don't go exactly quite as planned.
Gotta go with the flow.
With that said, thank you so much for joining us today to talk Islands of Adventure attractions. If you haven't already, find us on Instagram and TikTok at letsgo.to-disney, and we're also on Facebook. Our page there is Let's Go to Disney.
Also, we would love if you could subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It would be greatly appreciated. This helps us reach more listeners, and we love helping people have great trips.
Agreed. Have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.